Hi, this is Sarah Neighbor with Sarah Loves to Stamp. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I am kicking off my week 1 of my 10 weeks of celebration, where I'm going to be featuring the celebration products that anybody can earn for free by just spending $50. So you spend $50 and you get to choose any one of these items that are in the celebration brochure, which looks like this. This is for 2014, and I'll link to my video I just did on the celebration brochure. That'll give you more information about that, but feel free to contact me if you have questions. Okay, so this is going to use the Banner Blast stamp set, and it's going to use the Banner Punch that are both free options during celebration. If you want both, it's super easy. You spend $100 and you get to choose both of those items. There are lots of great items though, so let me go over it with you. How I built this card. We're going to also do something a little different today, so please let me know if you like this type of video. I am going to actually make 4 cards at once. I kind of have the theory, if you're going to make one card, why not make several of the same card at the same time, and then you have them kind of in your store to use, right? Okay, so, you know, stored up. Let's get going on the card, and I hope you love it. I thought it was super cute. Shelly Gardner, our CEO and co-founder, she demonstrated this at our leadership conference in Houston in January, and I thought it was adorable, and so I wanted to share it with you guys. Okay, so I told you I was going to make 4, so the first thing we need to do is cut and score all of our cardstock. I'm going to make 4, so I need 2 full sheets of crumb cake cardstock. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and use my, this is the Simply Scored scoring tool. I really like our Stampin' Trimmer, but I am not wild about how it scores, if I'm really honest with you guys, and I always try and be honest with you. So I'm going to go ahead and score it at 4 1/4. And I use the smaller end of the stylus when I'm scoring cardstock. I use the larger end when I'm scoring Designer Series paper, but I have a whole video on the Simply Scored scoring tool if you're curious about it. Can link to that here. Okay, so I went ahead and scored both of those. You know, that took just a few seconds. And then I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to get out my Stampin' Trimmer. I have on the rotary attachment here today. I'm liking the rotary attachment. Super easy to use. I also have a video on that, so I guess I'll link to that too. You guys are going to be thinking I'm crazy with all these videos to watch. Okay, so I'm just lining it up at 5 1/2. I'm just cutting it in half there. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Whoops. Oh, and you know what? I forgot. This is really important. You have to turn your track over. Whoops. Where? Your track needs to be on the side without the grooves. I totally forgot that, and I was just thinking, man, that cut didn't look so good. Okay, that's why. Here we go. Let's go ahead and line that up and go ahead and cut it. Oh, yeah, that's much nicer. Much nicer. And then this one here, I'm actually going to make into the layers for the card. So they measure 4 inches by 5 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those. I actually like to do the 5 1/4. I guess it doesn't matter on this cutter. I'm used to my other cutter, which doesn't have so many grid lines. I still use, Stampin' Up! Used to have this giant guillotine cutter, and I use that when I cut for my my classes, because I can cut more than one sheet at once. And so I'm used to that, but I forget this one has tons of grid lines. Okay, and then I need to just cut them at 4. So I'm making 4 cards. So I made 4 card bases, and now I'm making 4 card layers. And you can see this goes really quick. Whereas if you're making just 1 card, you know, I mean, it's not necessarily faster, of course, but I just feel like you're spending your time more wisely if you make several of the same card, especially when it's a clean and simple card like this one. Okay, so there those are, and you can just set those little scraps to the side. If you're somebody who wants to keep those, feel free. If you don't have to either. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so our next step is to just give a quick sponge to the layers of the card to really make it pop off the card base. Can you see that? I just sponged around it. I'm using Early Espresso ink, which is the same ink I'm going to use to stamp the sentiment. Oh, excuse me, I have to reach through. And I'm just using a piece of the Stampin' Sponge. I cut them into 6 or 8 pieces depending on what I want to do with them. Oops, here we go. And so I just sponge around the edges like this. Just tap it lightly in your ink pad, especially if it's super inky. You don't want like blobs of ink. And just go around the edges. Okay, so I'm done sponging them, and now my next step is to stamp the sentiments on them. You can do whatever you want. I actually did the birthday wishes on the other ones. I think I might go ahead and do the thank you on these ones because I need some thank yous pretty badly. So I'm going to go ahead and use the thank you this time. And I'm going to use my Stamp-A-Majig. I do have a video on that as well. I will link to the videos in this video, but I will also put them down in the description box below because I am talking about lots of different things that, you know, that I'm saying, like, hey, check out this video. So, and then on the original card, oops, here we go. On the original card, you can see where I put it, so I'm going to put it about the same place. It's a little bit below halfway, but kind of close-ish. And then the Stamp-A-Majig just allows me to line it up really straight. So I'm going to go ahead and put it there. And go ahead and stamp it down. And I might do one more. It's pretty dark, but there were a couple spots that didn't ink as well. So if you just leave, that's one of my favorite things about the Stamp-A-Majig. You just leave it in one place, you can stamp the exact same thing again. It's amazing. I love that. It makes me very happy because it's super easy and it makes sure that I really like what I'm getting. Next part that I'm going to head into here is to actually stamp the flags, and those are from the Banner Blast stamp set. Oh, they're so cute. I love this stamp set. It's probably my favorite Celebration set this year. And of course I love it because it has matching punch. That makes my life simple. So I just grabbed some scraps here. I did the yellow and the stripes, and it certainly doesn't matter. You don't have to do them the same way I did them at all. But you're just going to go through and you're going to stamp all of the banners. So I'm stamping 4. Oh, why did I stamp 5 flowers? Huh. I'm going to stamp 4 of the banners in each color. So there's 4 in that color. And then you're just going to keep doing that until you're done with all of them. And then you're going to punch them out. You know what, I might just show you how I punch them out in this video, or in this part of the video. And then I'll just speed ahead to having it done already for you guys. So you don't have to, you know, watch the magic of TV. What I discovered is the best way to line this up is to, like, look at it, you know, from the top like this. And then you can line up the V of the punch with the V of the image. Hopefully you can see that there. So I'm just moving straight down until it's over the image itself, and then I'm just punching. And what I like about that is some of the patterns, it keeps them aligned from side to side. On some of the patterns it matters more than, like, this one doesn't matter as much. So use your punches upside down to line up your images. And then here's this one. And here we go. I'm just going to, and this is from the Itty Bitty Punch Pack. I used this actually way more than I thought I would when I purchased it. Like, I thought I didn't need this. And now I use it all the time. Clearly I'm having trouble lining it up today. I think when I'm normally crafting I like put my head over it, but obviously I don't want to stick my head in the video. So there's that one. So I'm going to go ahead and do all the stamping and then all the punching is how I would actually do it when I'm mass producing a card like this. Because you can make 10, 20, 30 of these cards in, I would say, a short amount of time. You could do all the punching in front of the television or something, you know, or do it in the quiet of whatever room you craft in. Doesn't matter. So I'll go ahead and stamp the rest of them. I will tell you which colors I stamped on what, if you care. This is Midnight Muse, and I used it with the chevron one. And I used the Gumball Green with the triangles. I used the Raspberry Ripple with the polka dots, and I used the High with the Primrose Petals. And then of course I told you I used the Summer Starfruit for the stripe one and for the flower. So I will be back in just a second after I've done that. Okay, so now I have punched everything out, stamped everything, we're all ready to go. I just wanted to show you, I did some of the flags already. I wanted to show you what I did with them. Super simple. I'm just putting a dimensional on the back of each of them. Alright, the next part, and I already did some of this, is I wanted to use the linen thread. This is how it comes. You'll see in a second how I keep it usually. This one I'm trying to use up the last of it. And what I'm going to do is I want about 6 inches. I just found that, I mean, it's only a 4-inch wide piece of paper, so definitely that's, you know, you don't need this much, but it works for me, and then I don't have to kind of fidget with it as much. So I just looped it over 3 times. And I'm just cutting it, and then I'm just kind of putting it about between 1/3 and 1/4 of the way down, and kind of bunching them together. You can just wrap it around the card, and you know what, you can choose what you want to do. If you like them more separated, you can kind of do it loose. If you like them tighter, which I do, you can kind of bunch them together, and you can even give it a little twist if you want it to, like, look like they're really together. And So it's just up to you, however you want it to look. And I'm just using Scotch tape on the back to adhere it. You could certainly use snail. That would work out great too. I find that them being on these cards kind of kinks them because, you know, it's going around a little card. And so what I've done is I've taken these old spools from my husband's grandma and I've just wound my baker's twine and my linen thread around those. So I will use this to make my bow, the one off of here, because I don't want it to have any funny kinks in it. And you can do this 2 different ways. Like I'm just tying a regular bow here like I would on my shoes. I just didn't tie the knot part first. And so I just tie it really big like that, and then I just fidget with the ends to get it to how I want it to be. Or you can do the 2 bunny ears and, you know, around the tree or whatever that business is. I'm ready to adhere the layers onto the bases. So I have my bases here, and I'm just going to take them and fold them in half on that score line, and then I'm just going to burnish down the edge with the bone folder here. Use the liquid glue. I think I've told you guys in previous videos, I really enjoy this glue because it gives me a little time to slide it, to slide the cardstock before it's completely adhered. And especially on this card, I really enjoy that because I want this layer to be completely centered in the middle of the card. Flip it over. I'm looking at the edges, and this edge, the edge just hung out a little bit, so I'm just looking at the edges and just matching that up. Oops. And I kind of put that one on crooked. Okay, there's that. This one's a wee bit crooked anyway. Okay. So I'm just going to stick it so that the top kind of hangs over the little linen twine there, so it looks like it's, you know, hanging. And I'm just going to slip this one underneath it a bit. And then I'm going to slip this one right on top. And you can just kind of, you know, give it a little personality by making them not all hang exactly straight. Angle that one a bit. And let's do this one. I think I'm going to do this one underneath and angle it a bit the other direction. Oops, there you go. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep popping those on here. Okay, now let's add the flowers, and I'm just going to do this. This is going to be really simple. I'm just going to add a flower right here to the corner of each of these. There we go. So I just want a tiny little dot of glue. You're probably not even going to be able to see it. It's so small. And then I'll grab that little flower that was from the same Banner Blast set that I was able to punch out with that cute little flower punch. Love that flower punch. Adorable. And then I'm just going to take one and put it on each of them. Oops. Sticking out a little bit on this one. I'm just doing a tiny dot of glue. And then I'm going to grab one of my bows. And I'm just going to press the knot into that glue. Just going to add a little doodad to each of the centers of them. Doodad is really descriptive, I know. Rhinestone, here we go. I'm going to add the smallest size from our basic rhinestones. I just pick it up with my scissors, and then I put it where I want it, and then I just push down and pull the scissors away. That's the best way I've found. I really love this method. Okay, so here's our final little group of cards. Those are the ones I made today. And here's the birthday one I had originally, and I hope you guys love those. I think they're just really simple and easy and beautiful cards. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you give this card a try. It's super fun, super cute, and super easy, so can't go wrong with that. And with the free products, it just makes it all the better. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or email me at sarah@saralovestostamp.com. Also, just make sure you're on my mailing list. That's a really good way to make sure you get all the information. And that is easiest to do by going to sarahlovestostamp.com, my website, my blog. And on the side there, on the right side, you'll see a place to enter your name and email, hit submit, and then just make sure you go into your inbox and click the confirmation on that, the confirmation link that will come in the next email to actually add you to the list. Otherwise you won't get anything. So I send out monthly newsletters with that, and right now I'm sending out my 10 weeks of celebration on that too, although I am making this a public thing instead of just for my newsletter subscribers this time. Yeah, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you loved it. Have a good one. Bye.